Hello people, and welcome back to episode 3 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And before we start building in today's episode, let's run over a couple of little off-camera detailing bits that I've run through. So we had a comment last episode suggesting that we actually sink the highway into a tunnel as opposed to having it as an overpass over the roundabout, and I think I've decided to go with this. I'm not usually a fan of using tunnels, purely because I like to see kind of the traffic flow, you know, I like to see them going up and down. But I don't think this has turned out too badly, and it's also allowed us to kind of make a little more fuss of the water towers in the roundabout here. I've kind of woven some nature reserve path without decorations through the middle, dropping some bushes, a couple of stones, couple of conifers and some overgrowth. You know, just super basic stuff, but I think it kind of adds a little more personality to the roundabout and helps add to our kind of small town vibe. As we begin to enter the town, we also have one of these nature reserve paths without decorations that is flanked by a couple of nature reserve fences. Just so there's like that kind of little dirt walking path into town. You don't have to take the road, even though it runs parallel to the road. You can just kind of see where it fits in. Again, some very light tree and bush detailing around the edge. And then some larger rocks. Also hooked in our little one-way feeder system here, and you can see that the garbage trucks are actually using it to get into this side of the neighbourhood, which is good. And once this is hooked in kind of wider and further around the map, we'll see this road getting a little more use as well. So it's starting to serve its purpose. Also added in a bridge, so this comes behind the forest infantry main building here. This comes up and behind, and this is allowing our raw forest product to get over to the biomass pulp mill a lot easier. And it's also freeing up our roundabout here as well. So I'll kind of show you the one-way system from above. So there you go. If you're wondering kind of what it's like, everyone's kind of flown in a loop around here. And then there's a little kind of feeder system in place here as well. It's like I haven't upgraded that one. But yeah, it's a cute little system. And it's working nicely. You guys really enjoyed the episode. Further afield, let's have a look at the cemetery. So I've added in some trees behind the cemetery and the commercial. Also added in another little kind of exit path here. Kind of that goes onto the high street. And then yeah, just more trees and kind of stuff between the two assets. And I also went for some kind of little gravestone type things. If you kind of look at this from the right angle, on the right day of the week, in the right light, when there's a full moon, it kind of looks like gravestones. But either way, it's just a nice little repeated pattern in front of our cemeteries. It's kind of this screams Cities Skylines vanilla, I think, doesn't it? So yeah, just a little touch of it. It's just dirt paths, stones and bushes, right opposite the cemeteries. Thought I'd try it out. It's alright. I don't know whether or not it'll stay. And then just some other light bits of detailing around here as well. What we're going to be building today is we're going to be kind of continuing to work on the view from the highway, but we're now going to arrive onto this section and introduce our first public transport, of course. We're going to be working with some trams today, and we all know that we love trams. And I've also added in this kind of really basic, almost like countryside loop. This one's a little bit short. We need to kind of just make this a bit longer, which we'll do today as well. But yeah, it's not looking too bad, I don't think. So they're kind of exiting off the highway here. They come onto the little slip. Here you go. You can kind of see how this guy's going to function. They get a little bit of a run off to slow down, and then they can come up. There's no traffic lights here, and then they're feeding in. So this won't get too busy, but it's another little way in and out of the city. And it also now feeds off the left here into the beginning of the kind of the ring road that will begin to flow around the edge of this kind of block of land, right? We'll probably feed it back into the one-way system here as well. There's a little bit of planning there. It'll be kind of a nice drive along here as well. Kind of a nice little riverside road. I think it's pretty cute. Yeah, but anyway, let's have a little discussion about what we are going to do with this place right here. So today we're going to be working with green cities for the first time alongside snowfall, because we're going to be doing some trams as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll plant our tram system in first. Now, Tram depots are quite loud, so we're going to want to make sure that they're not kind of anywhere too major. So what I'm going to do is we're going to drag just a regular road out, and then I'm going to switch up to my tram road. We'll probably come out for about 10. That should be a decent place. Then let's go ahead and grab it. So the tram depot, we'll go ahead and pop this onto the end of the tram road that we just drew in. So with our tram depot in, I really want to try and use some of the tram tracks for this particular tram network, as I think this is actually what we're going to kind of run with today. So I think what we'll do is we'll delete this road and then bring up the regular road just a tiny little bit further. Then we'll go for the tram road. So this is just a regular 2-lane road with tram tracks. Then I'm going to switch out to my tram only road, just the tram track. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw out some really kind of simple kind of tram boxes. Now these aren't functional, it's purely aesthetic. And it's almost like an extension of the asset, you know. Let's see if we can just kind of clear out some of these trees along here. I do need to remember to actually delete the trees before we place them, because otherwise the game kind of still reads them as there and counts them towards the tree count. So, you know, we'll have our little tram system in here, and we've just extended the asset a little bit with this courtyard, and what we'll do is we'll use some industrial fencing to box this in, almost like it's its own little compound, and maybe add a little accompanying building here as well. We'll see. Okay, so grab our tram track, and I'm going to draw this out from probably, let's see where we want to hook this in. Can we come out at a straight edge from here? Let's see, I want to find a nice place to draw out from here. This should be okay. And then we can allow our tram system to carry on up into here. So we'll bring it down. And then let's kind of find a nice little spot. Let's actually draw out some of our little suburbia here. So I know kind of in this length here. Now I want to do some kind of suburban detailing in this space. So I think we'll leave 3 tiles between each of our roads here. So we'll have that one come into there. Then we'll grab our tram road again and bring him down. Now where do I want this to come in? Then we'll come out this way. And then we'll come behind the houses, which will look quite nice. And then we'll feed in to a little tram system that will reside around here. I might even break this connection, and then what we'll do is we'll just come into our snap in and we'll turn on just the angle and then bring it as close as we can, and that way we'll ensure that we're still kind of getting the maximum amount of zoning tiles in here, but it's not another connection on the road. They're going to have to come through here, and you know, we'll make more connections. There'll probably one up here at some point as well, and from down here eventually once we expand the network out, so I think that'll be fine. And then I'll go ahead and grab my 4-lane road with tram tracks, and then I think what we'll do is we'll bring the tram system down here. Gonna grab my 1-way tram track this time, and now let's have all our snapping back on for this, and I think we'll just go for kind of a straight up loop with a 1-way system here. I think that'll be fine. Obviously as well we want to turn off all our traffic lights here. Let's come into our junctions and we'll turn them all off. Looks like that was just the one, was it? There's one down here as well. One here and here. Fantastic. Super. So let's go ahead and complete the tram network at the other side. We'll do something similar with this one as well. So we'll come in here, 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 and here. Now we will do an episode on how to decorate public transport stops. That'll probably be next episode, because I want to do something really nice with kind of the rest of the tram stops moving down in that direction. So again, things will be similar. We'll go for a little one-way system here. We'll have our trams. So this is about the middle. So it's building a little one-way tram roundabout, just a really small one. And then we'll be able to come up through the middle here. And then what we might do is we might even probably have one that flows that direction. Maybe upgrade this one. If you're also wondering, guys, why I have so much money, it's because we are making decent money from our forest industry over here, and I've spent a lot of time detailing, so the money is just stockpiled. You're getting nearly 3 grand out of this, and the factory's making pretty much 3 grand as well. So minus your expenses, you're making kind of like pretty much 3 grand straight away out of them. So yeah, that's why we have nearly $1 million in the 3rd episode, if you were wondering. It's just from the forest industry. That's why it's good to kind of get them down early. Okay, and then we'll come out this side as well. I'm not too worried about this side right now. We'll factor this in once we kind of come to building on this little bit here. For right now, it's okay. And then we're going to come out with the tram road really small again. We'll continue the one-way system. We'll go for our freeform tool with just road guidelines. And then what this should let us do is just get a nice smooth curve up alongside the road here. And then we can curve in there. And then we can actually upgrade this one into a one-way. So that way, we're just going to be keeping the trams off the road. Which is always a nice thing to do, because, you know, if you're going to have a really busy tram line, especially if you're kind of looking like downtown trams, then, you know, using just the tram tracks is a great way to keep your roads a little bit free. So I think that'd be nice. And of course, let's make sure to turn off our traffic lights. 2, 3, and 4. We're going to have our town centre here, one episode as well. Oh, so much to do. Okay, so we now have a complete tram loop in. Let's go ahead and draw in those tram lines. So I think we'll have one that stops there. Now every kind of 2 blocks is a good rule of thumb, 2 to 3 blocks with your tram stops. So I think what let's do is let's actually move this one back and put it up there. And then we'll have one, I guess the next sensible one would be here. Yeah, okay, I think we'll go for that one. We'll have one in there. Down here. And then back there again. And then what we'll do is we'll catch the trams as they begin to emerge. It would help if I actually had this connected into the tram network. There we go. Super. So they'll come out now. We have line details, and then we'll change it to I think quite a nice dark green for this one, and then we can name the tram line kind of once we know where it's going. They'll come out, they'll back up a little bit just whilst they're kind of coming out of the depot, but they will eventually kind of stagger across the line. You kind of see how he's waiting a little bit longer now before that one goes, and vice versa, they will stagger out. Fantastic. So now we need to kind of have a look at here and what's going to be along the front of this particular centre for kind of the highway. So last episode we used the tree sapling fields to kind of decorate the side of our highway. I've also run the zoo fences through the middle of the highway as well, just as a little bit of decoration. This is a tip from Imperator. I'm pretty sure kind of he came up with the design. The zoo fences kind of look like these little concrete barriers. They work really nicely for decorating your highways. So give them a try if you haven't already. Okay, so we'll have a little discussion about districts. Now, you guys said you did want kind of a districts and policies episode, which we will do. We're not going to do it today. I'll give kind of a very brief explanation of how you kind of use them. But we will have kind of an episode that is solely focusing on districts and policies and stuff like that. Because you guys said that you did want to see it, so we will do it. So, I'm going to draw out just a regular old district, and I'm going to give myself the organic and local produce specialisation. And this is from the Green Cities expansion. So what does it do? It changes commercial area to consist of buildings like organic produce shops, electric car charging stations and such. So what does that actually mean for the city in terms of numbers? It produces 50% of sold goods locally. Truck traffic in the area is reduced by 50%. Now bearing in mind we're near a highway, so that's going to be helpful. Increases the electricity consumption by 20%, so we're going to be using a little more electricity. And reduces garbage production by 20%. So that's good. And these assets, they look a lot nicer as well. I think you'll kind of agree once you see them. They really do. You know, I'm a big fan of the Green Cities buildings. So what I'm going to do now is I want to build in a road that's going to give me enough zoning to have something here. Guess we'll see. And then I'm going to use that trick again. I'm just going to come ahead and snap to angle. And I'm just going to come up to kind of touching the roads here. And I want to know that this one now is my tram with road. So cars can come in and out of here as well. We're already getting some people using the trams. Welcome friends. Welcome to the new gardens. Okay. And then I think we'll kind of do something similar here as well. We'll draw in a connection from this side. That's it. I'm just kind of thinking how I want this to lie up against the edge of this tram line here, and I think what we want okay. So we'll just come for angle. And we'll come as close as we can again, just using your angle snapping tool. I often find playing about with different snappings will really help you create much more diverse areas. Okay, super. So we're getting some nice zoning tiles in here now. Let's begin to actually kind of map out a walking path through here. So I think we'll go zoo path with decorations. I'm going to go to grid for this one. It's actually getting a police station. Yeah, because we do need a police station. So again, I kind of want everything facing the highway here. So kind of, again, as we're seeing now, we've got this little bridge coming over. So grid and angle. I'm going to come out from here. I think we'll come across one more. And then let's come down from this side. Okay, and then up through here. And that's kind of nice. And maybe across there as well. And what we'll do is we'll kind of show you a little tip for your paths as well once we kind of get most of them in. So the tram stops are here. Now I want some kind of park. Again, we'll kind of use one we've already done here. I think we'll go with the small park. Yeah, I think we will. Let's get the small park in there, and then we'll come back into our paths and we'll grab some gravel roads, some gravel paths. So if you don't know, there are two assets. It's this one and the large playground. You can actually, oh, and also the park with trees as well, the big one. It looks like we don't actually get that park on this map. Oh no, yes we do. It's right there, you idiot. Yeah, so this one as well, the park with trees. You can draw the paths out from these, and I've done this a couple of times. A lot of people didn't seem to know. I thought it was kind of very much common knowledge. But you can kind of extend the park. You can duplicate the trees, you can duplicate the patterns, and I have some nice things in here as well. Super. So let's start getting some of our zoning in. So right here is going to be good. I definitely want a big one right in the corner where our trams are going to be pulling around. And then one here for sure. Maybe another big one right opposite as well. A little 2x1 there. Maybe a little one like that. Okay. So now with my zoo paths, So we use the wanted decorations to draw in kind of the main frame. But now I'm going to come into my regular zoo path and hit my upgrade tool. And then just upgrade a few sections of it. So maybe I only want the trees kind of under the highway bridge here. And it's just a nice kind of change in texture. There's some trees, there's some not. You can kind of do it the other way around if you want to. So we've got some little green cities commercials coming in now. And you can see these guys have no level. So if we take a look at some regular commercial. So we have 3 distinct segments, obviously representing levels 1, 2 and 3. High density will go through 1 through 5. The green cities specialization, they have no levels. Once they're in there forever. And yeah, kind of get some nice base frame in now. We've got most of the kind of main chunks filled out, and I think we'll go for one more here. And then we'll run some more paths through the spaces we have free. We want to draw in a border. So bordering zoning with paths is something I'm a big fan of. It looks really nice. And I guess we'll kind of do it here as well. And then what we can do is with the kind of the spaces around this, we'll do some tree detailing as well. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that at the minute. It just needs some kind of trees in right now. Let's go for some of the bushier ones. We'll kind of come into a bird's eye view here and kind of plan out where a lot of these big open spaces are, and then we'll get some of the larger trees in. We come for a couple behind the police station as well. A couple in here. That'll probably be okay for right now, I think. And then we'll switch down to a smaller tree. Now we could go with bushes to line the tram stop, but I think I'm going to go with a little colourful tree. Now there are a couple of options available to us. I think we'll just go with the regular little green one and just space these out as evenly as we can get them around our trams. And that'll just be a nice little border between the building and the tram. You see people now choosing to cut through the park to get to the other side. It's a nice little link through. So have a little look actually how many people are on our tram line at the moment. Yes, there's probably a few too many trams. We can adjust the number on the line here if we want to, which will in turn reduce how much we spend on that. But for 4 right now, they're getting some use. I'm not too bothered about it. We have a really big residential demand, so let's start to work on our suburb here a little. So we'll have lots of nice large residentials around here, and then we'll do something really nice with kind of the tram line cutting through the middle of these as well. It's a really good opportunity to do some detailing. So yeah, not enough workers. We'll start to supply them with some. And I think along here as well, we'll go for... Yeah, I think we will. I think we'll go for this whole block, but leaving the main road free. Now the point of leaving the main road free is just so people aren't stopping and starting on there. Interesting that the police car is using the highway slip road to get to the other side of town. There he goes, he's going to come off here, right? Yeah, so he's patrolling. So even just from right here to right here, he's choosing to use the faster highway route rather than come through town. So there's the little kind of mini second city connection that will really help with traffic. So what I want to do now is I want to keep carrying on expanding my suburban pattern to factor in this little tram road here, a little tram track. So I think what we'll do is we'll start coming out by rows of 30. I want to leave a little bit of parkland space between this little tram network and the tram, because this is a loud building, the tram depot. See his big centre of red. We don't want lots of residences around here. They won't be happy. So we can now bring this very nearly up until there. What we'll do is, again, we'll go for our little angle technique. And we'll just bring it as close as we can get it. That should be fine. Now I do want a cycling route factored in to this thing as well, which is what will kind of run through here too, I imagine. And then what we'll do is begin to kind of factor in the cycle network alongside our public transport systems. And what this will do is just help to facilitate the flow of people a little easier. We'll kind of come onto it as we get into it here. Let's keep our little roads going. And again, we'll have distance of 3 tiles. Yeah, 3 there, right? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So, let's go into our paths again. And then we'll grab our bicycle path. So rather than just kind of doing endless boxing of your zoning in here, just kind of doing more endless zoning, if you kind of leave a little bit of space between those zoning tiles, we can get some more infrastructure in. That will help people move around a lot easier. Obviously once there are houses on this side as well, the Sims will have a lot more reason to use them. And we'll carry on down here as well. So then what we can do is we'll just cross them over. So we'll come down here, here, and then here. A little bit of a crossroads here. And then we'll kind of decorate these up towards the end of the episode as well. So we just marked out a whole bunch of new residential. This will all grow out between kind of the ring road and the town centre here. And we'll start to see this kind of sprawling country suburb beginning to develop as we continue to build in this style. The road layouts aren't anything too impressive just yet. They're just kind of very simple straight angles and 90-degree turns. It's nothing too impressive. But I do want to continue constructing my path network through here as well. So what we'll do is we'll draw a border alongside our tram road again. Now, Sims can still walk on these tram tracks. They do have a pavement on them, or a sidewalk. But I want to give them a little more purpose. So I'm going to come into my park fence. Now, exactly what we did with the forest industry over here, by boxing stuff in with fences and filling out empty spaces with trees and rocks, we can give much more purpose to an area. So a lot of the times you'll see these things just kind of dumped on the road and then just kind of left to it, but I want to make this part of the detail as well, right? I want this tram depot to have a little bit of purpose to it. So I'm going to draw in with our park fence. I'm going to bring this right up alongside it. And what this will do is, it's almost like, you know, I mentioned it earlier, it's like an extension of the asset. Almost like this is where they would store the trams. This is kind of the vibe I'm going for here. And then again, we can bring it a little bit further down. There we go. And then hook it into here as well. And there's a variety of things we can do with this space here. We can continue to expand that residential. We can pop in a little bit of commercial. But I think I might find a building to almost complement the tram depot in terms of look. So there is one I have in mind. Now, I don't know if we have it unlocked yet. It's this one, isn't it? So it's the park maintenance building. Now, obviously we haven't actually built any kind of city parks yet. But it's a facility where the park maintenance vehicles are stored and maintained, and the park maintenance vehicles travel around the city to boost the parks and increase their entertainment value and radius. So this affects both Park Life parks and regular vanilla base game parks. And it's a pretty nice looking building. It's 160 a week to maintain. Now I'm pretty sure that we can afford that. And we kind of have the perfect space for it right here. So I think what I'll do is we'll go for the 2-lane gravel road. I'm going to draw in just a little bit of kind of a lip right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab that building. I think I've left myself enough room. Yes, we have. So it has no, I don't think it does anyway. Yeah, there's no pollution values to it. So in that case, we are okay to kind of place this behind our residences here. And this will also help fit into the kind of the array of the tram depot here. So just a nice little break from the usual pattern. And then we'll be able to do some nice decoration around here as well. So we're now starting to see the AI pick up these paths as another route to their destination, which is fun. And again, as more people find reason to come to this area, they will be kind of coming around here and making use of our little infrastructures. And again, I'm kind of happy with the way this is developing from the highway as well. You know, don't forget to keep checking it from different angles. Yeah, also brought in some more road network around here. Continue to plan in this this nice little suburbia that's beginning to develop. So I think, guys, this is going to feel like a fantastic place to jump into a detailing time lapse. So as always, we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's run over some little detailing kind of tips that I've done before we kind of move into the outro of the episode. Ran some bushes along the tram line, which really helps add a nice border to it. Also ran some trees between the path and the next road over, including an actual walking path as well. So this just helps kind of fill in a little more of that concrete texture that I'm looking for. And you know, some nice kind of trees in front of the houses here, and also following the tram line that runs through the middle of the houses. It's going to look really nice. With the cycling roads and the dirt paths, just a farming fence through the middle, or the forestry fence, sorry. It's the same one that we used over here, with our forestry of course. Ran that through the middle of them, and then lined it with trees. It's a really nice kind of accentuation in that pattern. I also need to come through as well and kind of cut into the houses, which we need to do. Kind of see how you kind of cut through them here. You can draw that one down and then cut your cycling path through as well. Then you can leave these zoned in the middle if you want. It's really up to you. But just so they can kind of cross from different sides of the pattern. I'll continue to do that with the rest of them off camera. Kind of bent the shape out a little bit here as well. And yeah. What else have we done? Yeah, it's kind of nice little rock and fence detail up alongside the highway here, which I think helps it blend in a little bit more too. Might run some trees through the middle of the highway. We'll have a little look at the tram information if you guys are interested. So there's more people beginning to pick the trams up now, which is fantastic news. We're already at 1 million. If you guys want to see my there you go, there's the budget panel if you're interested in what we're spending currently. You know, you see we're making really good money from our industry stuff. alongside the residential as well. You know, don't forget to set your taxes to 12%. I know we've even got the loans available if we need it, so there's another 80 grand there ready for us to take should we take on any large projects. But yeah, towards the next episode we'll start moving over here, forming our town centre and crafting our first parks as well, which we'll do within this space here. I was thinking nature reserve, but I'm probably going to avoid nature reserve just because it's a little too small. And I think we can do some nice things with kind of raised cafes up near this little rock here. Be able to do some nice kind of path patterns as well. So yeah, looking forward to it. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. I'm really happy with the way this area has turned out. We've got our first trams in as well and developed a nice little tram square using some of the Green City stuff. It's all very light, it's very minimalistic, but I think it really comes together. And we're beginning to see some nice path infrastructure flow around the suburbs as well, taking people from kind of town centre to suburb and to industry. So we're starting to experience just a really nice atmosphere generating around this part of town. Like I said, next episode we'll begin to work on the town centre and look at some park life stuff, which will be fun. But otherwise, that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.